Phil, I guess we think about phones and computers. We never really think about cars, but they're basically just motorized computers themselves at this point. Is there some kind of political reaction from the U.S. that may help here, given that these shortages, unfortunately, like so much everything else these days, is coming from China because they control almost the entire global supply?
I don't know if I would say that. Clearly, there's a governmental concern as you look at this, and there have been meetings between, I believe, Germany, U.S., and other countries as partners to the OEMs as they've gone in and met with TSMC, for example, to try to get higher priorities. But I think from a political standpoint, there's not going to be a political short-term solution to this. There's not going to be a manufacturing short-term solution to this. I mean, right now, it's the number of ICs that can be produced is relatively fixed. You can't just create capacity overnight. So now it's a question of priorities. And the OEMs are trying to get more priority. And I think in the short term, they're getting some commitments for getting to the head of the line. But that only gets you so far. As one of the earlier reports that said, we're talking about 26 weeks lead times. You're not going to be able to prioritize OEMs for that long a period of time.
Yeah, well, and listen, also, China makes a lot of stuff. They make semiconductors and they make things that semiconductors go in. And if their domestic market needs it, that's that. But you heard in our reports, Phil, there's a lot of people that are thinking, that SMIC and Taiwan Semi in China, that they are frustrating, if you will, global supply at least. Is there anything that we can do, or is this literally just got to let the bottlenecks that happen because of lockdowns and a rapid reopen in China, let that work through the system?
I mean, at this point, that essentially is I'm afraid where we're at, is the situation is what it is. I mean, the creation of this really goes back to the COVID crisis of last year that created a drop in demand, and then the foundries were looking to fill that up. They were able to fill that up, and by the time automotive started showing recoveries, all that demand had been consumed. So, it's kind of a good problem to have if you make semiconductors. It's no fun to be expediting things, but on the other hand, everything you make, you're selling. You're either selling it into a Game Boy or into a car or into a computer right now. So, in that sense, it's kind of a good time to be a semiconductor supplier.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pain and suffering going on as people are trying to get to the head of the line and trying to get more material for their individual projects.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.